Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett, and today I'm going to get into this question, and it's a Q&A video, and it's going to be on IP cameras, some tips on buying IP cameras and stuff like that, and specifically for outdoor cameras. Now, as far as things goes, the person wants me to recommend them some IP cameras. I'm going to tell you how you can find some on your own, because if you buy some now versus later, there's going to be different brands out there. But if you know what to look for, then you should be fine. So as far as things goes, the person wants to have their IP camera linked to Weather Underground, and I'll get into that in a second. But they wanted me to recommend something to them. Thing to note is Weather Underground uses FTP, file transfer protocol. Don't worry about that. Basically, Weather Underground, it only allows you to upload a still image every so often. I think it's every 30 seconds or every minute or something like that. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it's every so often. So it's not like a live feed or anything like that. It's a still. It's basically taking pictures. And because of that, that's going to say a lot on what you're looking for. Now, as far as things goes, it gets a little bit more of things like they have a fairly large yard. They want things to be clear, not fuzzy, yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to give some tips to keep things clear, because things like if you're like me and it gets cold certain times of year, spiders and stuff like that can be a problem. So I'll get into that with mine. So what you need to do is just simply go on eBay and look up outdoor cameras, outdoor wireless cameras, outdoor IP cameras. Again, pretty much all of them. I in fact never seen an IP camera that doesn't have FTP abilities on it. So I'm not going to say all of them have it, but I'd never seen one that didn't have it. So what should you get? Now, as far as things goes, do not get anything like this. It's a pan and tilt. So you'll notice with the bottom left down here, or on the preview, it says pan and tilt. Basically what that means is that little ball on the top, it moves around. And the problem is one, the images, it only uploads to the servers every so often. So it's a still image. You don't need a thing to move. You're going to spend more money into something like this. It's going to mess up. I'm going to guarantee you it's going to mess up. I've had a few that died on me. I mean, unless if you live in certain areas, like if you live in areas where ice is and stuff like that, it's going to mess up. There's just no doubt in my mind. Water will get into it and screw the whole thing up. So with that being in mind, and I played with $200 ones and $20 ones, it will screw up. Now, what I found with them is you probably want something that you can put up there once and maybe once a year play with it at best, and hopefully not even that. Problem with these is every 3-6 months, maybe more, you got to recenter them, because if, say for example, if the power goes out and it goes back on or whatever it may be, the camera, every time it kicks back on, it will try to recenter itself. This causes problems because I've literally had these cameras, and I've again played with $20 ones, and I've reviewed and been given for free up into $300 to $400 ones. No joke, they're all the same on this particular problem, where I've literally had one where the normal will be like that, where it's facing towards the front, and it will be recenter itself, and it thinks facing straight up to the sky is normal. It is a complete pain to deal with these on that. I suggest using these for inside only. It lasts a lot longer and stuff like that. But and you can use something like this, like say for front door or whatever. I'll keep it static, but I found these are the only ones that actually has a mic and a speaker. Some of them has speakers. a lot of them have mics, but these are the only ones that would have something like that. So unfortunately, I never seen the static ones with them, which I'm not going to say there isn't one. There probably is one of those. You need something like this. This looks like mine, and mine's taking these type of pictures. I'll get a little bit more into this in a second. But basically, you need to have static ones. They you don't have to worry about adjusting it unless if it's like super high winds, like almost like a hurricane or tornado or something like that. And really at that, it's not too much problem. This particular one, it's been up there. Yes, it's crooked and whatever, but it's been up there for about 2 years now. It's been through several tornadoes and several hurricanes. Several, in fact, quite a load of days going to 60-mile-an-hour plus winds. Hail, rain, snow, ice, whole 9 yards. Anyways, as far as that goes, what you need to do is also, on top of this, is make sure that it's either wide angle or normal. It will say like wide angle lens. This is a wide angle. So let's try to find a date that was, I think there's a little bit of snow on this date, so you can actually see everything starts popping out a little bit more. So yeah, I guess this is the best picture we're going to get. So the thing to note is this entire thing is about 2-ish acres, almost 2 acres. Not quite. And the thing to note is we have an open area with a garden over there, beehives, and then farm field back there, pine tree farm over on that side, orchard on that side, and what you can see in the middle and all that. The fact is it is a large area. This is a wide angle. A normal angle, a normal camera is about from, say, that oak tree to, say, about from that beehive, maybe over to the garden or compost area over here. So the thing to note is it's still a significant area, but it will cut out, I'll say about 25% or something like that. Note, even with a wide angle, I'm not capturing a lot of the pine tree farm and the and also the orchard, but it's still a significant area. And also note that the further out things are, the more you can capture. So, like, I can capture the entire farm field behind the lot, and whereas if say this camera was on that line, it might capture probably about a quarter to maybe half of that. So that's a big thing to note is if your target is say about, I don't know, 30, 40 feet, use a wide angle, and that way you can actually capture. I'm giving it it's worthwhile, but if you're like this, you can go either way and be fine. But I found wide angles are better, unless if that means that you're going to start capturing, let's say, your neighbor's yard or something like that. Now, as far as that goes, one thing I will note is with the IR. This has IR, by the way, and IR is on. The thing is unless, because again, this image is very deceptive. Everything is a lot further than it really seems. Keep in mind that this is probably about 30, 40 feet in the air already. Well, actually, this Martin pole is about 50 feet. So it's up in the it's about 40 feet probably in the air. And so as far as that goes, basically, if anything is over 20 feet or 30 feet, you ain't hitting it. So keep in mind that we're not looking straight at the ground, so it ain't hitting any of that ground. and it ain't recognizing anything. The fact is it's not hitting it because the fact is everything's just too far away. Now things like, say for example, where that weather sock is, notice how it's not really that reflective. When the IR is on, it is super reflective. Things like that are reflective. If you got certain stuff out there, you can actually make things very visible like that. So that's just something to note. Now, as far as that goes, you need to know the difference between passive and active IR. I think this one is a active. I can't tell for 100% fact. And it's like the wide angle. There's no way to know from just looking at it. Unfortunately, you either got to mail someone, mail the seller, or you got to look at the description and hopefully it will tell you. But the fact is what a passive IR is the IR is always on, which means that a active, it basically has a lens inside of it, and it when the light sensor says it is dark, the lens goes down, and basically any it'll basically say that turn on the IR lights if they're not on already, but turn on IR lights and then lower that lens down, and basically at that point the it will see IR. It's a special filter that goes on it. Whereas a passive, that filter is always there. It does not lift it. And how you can tell if you actually have the camera in your hand is cover the light sensor with your finger. If you hear click, that means it's an active. It will be a mechanical click because it's the actual mechanical movement inside of it. That's the thing, is they're not big enough to have them, and I've never seen a active IR in here. Whereas this, I've seen active IRs. Now, one thing to note is some like for this, it might say, oh, it has IR or night and day or whatever. Well, the thing is stuff like this. Basically, all that means is the lights turn on and off. It doesn't mean that the filter goes up or down. So something like this, where it says IR cuts, that little symbol right there, that if you actually look into it, it actually says where it switches to achieve day or night monitoring. And then you can look at some other things that like, say for example, like right here where it shows the actual difference. Well, the fact is if that IR filter is on in the middle of the day, all this will be purple. Like right here where it's kind of purple, all of this will be purple. You can still make out what it is, but it will all be purple. Now, in leaves and things like that, it's even worse. So it's a big thing to note there is passive IR. It will screw with the colors like you won't believe. So note that where if it says that it looks like this, fine. That's probably inactive, because otherwise that will be purple. Anything black will be purple, and anything green will have a purple hue to it. Whereas But anyways, as far as that goes, the other part that I was going to answer for him is they want to make sure that the pictures are clear and not fuzzy. Thing to note is, see if I can find, it's right here. So what you'll find is many IP cameras, especially like wireless IP cameras or outdoor cameras, it will have a interface like this. The problem that I found is when keeping outside is bugs like to crawl up in here, and you gotta clean it out. So, or there'll be spider webs that get caught up in there, and seeds and things. Like where I'm at, it's obviously more of a farm area, and basically seeds and stuff like that get caught up in there, because when you have tractors out and about, they're doing their thing, and that stuff gets in the air. So what I found is you need to find some way to plug in that hole, not to permanently plug it in. So I wouldn't use something like silicone or anything. Just I don't know, do something to keep that where nothing can crawl in it. Because what I found is also bugs like to crawl into it because like if you're like me, like where you can actually get ice. This is ice. This is not snow. This is ice. If it gets like that where you're at, bugs go in there because of warmth. Also on top of that, see if I can show on this. Around here, bugs will try to go in between there because of warmth, because this actually tends to stay warm because of it's doing its job all the time. So big thing to note is once in a while you might have to knock down spider webs. In the daytime, spider webs tend not to be a problem. Something like this, you won't notice too much of a difference of the spider webs. But at nighttime, if there's a spider web, you'll see like it'll be almost like a light flashing right back into it. That's a big thing to note into itself when you're doing that. So once in a while, you're going to have to clean out. I don't, because again, mine is quite high in the air. I don't care enough to do that. And the fact is you can knock it off pretty easily. I just let the weather and whatever clean it if need be. And I found out a little bit too late for that little bit. So, it's kind of late, but if I got a brand new one, I would protect that. That's the only part that I actually would care about, because if you got to reset this thing and work with it in the future, you got to use that to fix it up. So that's the only part I would actually care about, because that's the only part that you might be handling in the future if like you got a new Wi-Fi router or something else. So as far as that goes, I think I answered everything. So yeah, as far as that goes, hopefully this has answered your question. One other thing before I forget. I've had on one of mine, and look like this. I had on one of mine where water got into it, and it was collecting up here. Eventually, like it took about 2-3 months before the camera went out, and I think what took it out was the water got into it somehow, probably just after a year or two of wear and tear out in the sun and whatever. And basically it collected somewhere in it, and then it froze. It got into the mid-20s, low 30s. It froze. It probably busted something, and basically that took that one out. So note that can happen. You might want to take a look at the warranties on these things. Usually that's not really a problem. Like I said, with that particular one, it was like a year, maybe 2 years old. I think it was up to 2 years old. And it's just 2 years of hurricanes, tornadoes, 60-mile-an-hour winds, of hail, snow, rain, sunshine. Where I'm at, the sun's worse here in North Carolina than down there in Florida, believe it or not, where I used to live. And things get bleached out a lot quicker. So I mean, mixture between those things, it would just kill it. So just note that. But anyways, this video's been going on long enough. If you got any questions, anything else, then feel free to let me know, and I'll try and answer as quickly as possible. Leave a like, subscribe, share, and see you next video. Hope you have a great day.